Okay, let's briefly talk about the attack on Governor of Imo State, Governor Uzodinma. What's your view on this attack?
Well, who attacked him?
As usual, unknown gunmen.
Unknown gunmen. Okay, unknown gunmen could, by implication, mean the Nigerian military. It could mean the Nigerian force. It could mean other aggrieved politicians who feel, of course, cheated or who feel he don't deserve to be there. So I don't think it has to do with the Biafran cause or the IPOB. So it could be people that have been, who felt marginalized or whose loved ones had been killed by the said governor. So they are calling for vengeance. So I think vengeance will always have its cause. So when you think you can kill people, you can mar them, destroy people's life, brothers and sisters, and you still cruise in your limousine or armored car or whatever, it's a matter of time. People will go after him. So he is more or less reaping what he has sown. It's unfortunate, but that is the truth. You see, you are meant, given that opportunity to serve the people, to protect life and property, and not the reverse. So when you make the state ungovernable, of course, you also feel the impacts of such unrest. I think that is what is just happening. Whatever comes around, they say, goes around. So if yesterday it was, of course, the common men or the average Imolites, and today it will be the turn of the elites. And that is just, there is nothing new about that.
I guess he was lucky.
Of course, he was lucky. If he was unfortunate, then life will still continue, because there's nothing special about that.
Meanwhile, according to police reports, Sowore was not shot in Abuja as being speculated. Who do you think we should believe in this?
He was not shot, but there are video clips that testify to the contrary. See, these police people, I think they have not learned their lessons. It's unfortunate that, of course, people could no longer confide in the police force, and you can't believe them. I've been a victim of such circumstances. Police, in fact, you rather meet an armed robber. You'd rather be at the mercy of an armed robber, hardened criminal, than being at the mercy of a policeman. They will rusticate you. They will levy all the blames, unfounded, and lay it on you. You see, what they are saying, of course, time will tell. But the fundamental issue that he was shot by a female police and was tear gassed. So the records are there, the video are there to attest to that.
By chance, do you think Sowore and his team could have planned this just to seek attention?
Well, it is, if they did that to seek attention, well, I think there's nothing wrong about that. But it is beyond seeking attention. They are talking of the present. The past has been their experience. So the present is their major concern. And the future lies the interest. For crying loud, these are young, vibrant, energetic young men and women who do no longer believe in the current system. You see, and they're charting a way forward for a new system that will embrace everyone, that will create enabling environment, that will promote coexistence. These are their objectives. So, and it is not wrong. Because we can no longer believe in this system because it's no longer serving the interests of the people and ethnic nationalities. These are fundamental issues that is that needed to be ironed out, needed to be addressed. But Nigerian state or government is playing deaf ears to all these things, as if they are not seeing it. But in reality, it is, of course, destroying the fabrics of our existence as a people. So for them to have set out is a commendable action, and of course should be sustained. They shouldn't be deterred. Any average youth or peace-loving or somebody who wants to move forward should not relent, irrespective of the threats and the use of coercion from the government. They have no option than to adhere or to surrender to the cravings of the people, because it's the people that owns the government. Without the people, there is no government, and the government was meant to serve the people and not the reverse.
So could this be your advice to Sowore? He should not relent?
Yes, as a freedom fighter, it is much anticipated that some days will be like that, and I wish him well. But one thing is paramount, that when you're consistent, when the determination is strong, nothing can deter you. Even it means paying the ultimate price. The generation unborn will be grateful, will celebrate you when you remain resolute and focused, irrespective of whatever might come your way. But the truth remains that nobody can conquer the truth. Nobody can defeat the truth. Not even the Nigerian state, not even the Nigerian government. So the truth will always survive. The truth will always surface. The truth will always prevail at the end of the day. At the end of the tunnel, the sun must certainly shine and will brighten our faces. And that is what we look up to. And it is inevitable and very imminent. Either they accept it now or live to regret such. So my sympathy goes to Sowore, who is of course sustaining injuries, and I wish him speedy recovery. Not just recovery to relax, but to intensify the cause of the emancipation of the human race, especially as it affects the African region. We are backward not because we are not talented, not because we are not endowed with human resources and natural resources, but we are backward because of the mentality. You can imagine that useless police woman opening, using live ammunition on a civilian who is in his, of course, legitimate rights, who is expressing his right of expression. So that is the fundamental problem. We need to be delivered. There must be a mental revolution on the part of the African race. If we must get it right, if we must catch up with the other community of nations who have left us far behind. So with this system, it is not feasible. So we have to do away with the system and entrench a new system that will allow people to express themselves, contribute to the process of governance and the art of governance. It should be predominantly men with refined mindsets who should chart the way forward, not these old cargoes and who are just constituting nuisance and making things more difficult for every one of us. So, of course, but the best way, it cannot be attained within this country, is unfortunate. If you are promoting one Nigeria, you are just living in the state of oblivion. You are living in a world that never existed. So The way forward, of course, the Kakanfo, or what do you call it, of Yoruba race, in person of Gani Adams, have made it categorically known that there is no going back to Yoruba nation, Uzodinma state. So this is clearly evidence that Nigeria has collapsed. If the Biafrans are there talking about Biafra, Uzodinmas are there conversing for Uzodinma nation, then what is left? All Israel to your tent.
But looking at this, don't you think the female police officer was just doing her job?
Of course, they have been empowered to kill, to steal, and destroy. But that is contrary to the art of policing. You police the community, you relate with the community, you intend to empathize, put yourself in the shoe of the one you shot. If you are the one, how will you feel? That is not the art of policing the community, the society. You don't use the art of coercion, force. You see? And you think you can make a headway. Of course, wherever she may be at this time, I know she won't go scot-free. I don't mean I will go after him, but people who saw her and people who have been badly treated, unjustly treated, of course, we have their registered in their subconscious mind that such person don't deserve to be among the police force. It's quite unfortunate that they don't subject such officers to psychological tests. You just enroll them, not minding what the composition or what they are made up of. So in a civilized society, you can't see that happening. You rather use toy guns or rubber guns, you see, or use the dispersing hot water or whatever to disperse the crowd. You don't use live ammunition. But you can't say that in Nigeria. It's quite unfortunate.
Okay, so today we are discussing the sit-at-home order yesterday in the southeast and the fact that there was 100% compliance to that order. What's your view on that?
Not just 100% compliance, that is, I think, more than 100% compliance. By that singular action, it clearly shows the position of the people, as it has to do with this struggle or the restoration of the Biafran states. It clearly indicates that it is the people's will. It is their wish, it is their heartfelt, desire. The deepest desire of the people is to, of course, have their own country, where their identity, their culture, and their life, as well as their property, could be safeguarded, protected. So it is overwhelmingly convincing that Nigeria is no more, because the psychological war has already been won. So it is not about the use of coercion by the government, the said government of Nigeria. They're taught by intimidation, by harassment, by the use of force. They could change the people's will. They could change the narrative, but they were defeated. So this is a clear defeat. As far as everyone is concerned, you can see it for yourself, that this total compliance is a very heavy blow on the continuity of the Nigerian state. So I want to say kudos to, of course, everyone who made it a great success.
Well, so do you think the Easterners obeyed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's orders for fear of being killed, or it was from their hearts?
It is not about thinking. It is the people's will. It's a reflection of the people's will. Because people can no longer confide uh, on this present dispensation or administration or the government of Nigeria for their safety, for their protection. You see, it is overwhelmingly clear that Nigeria is no more. Because people can no longer trust the government. The essence of primary essence of governance is to deliver dividends of democracy, to protect life and property, and create enabling environment for, of course, for economic uh, prosperity that can engender economic prosperity for all. Once they have failed in this primary objective of protecting life and property, then you can't attract, without peace, you can't attract any development. So invariably, people are now aware, are living in that consciousness that Nigerian state is no more. It's a clear indication. It's not about, if it were to be threats, I think they would have been suppressed or subjugated by the Nigerian state, who deployed battalions of soldiers across the southeastern region to encourage the people to be out of the business. But people understood why they should be indoors, because it reminds them of the past. It reminds them of the sacrifice that have been made by the heroes past for their own survival. If they have not paid such ultimate price, they wouldn't. I also wouldn't have the opportunity to live, because the motive of the Nigerian government by declaring war against the Biafran state was to exterminate every living soul within the Biafran territory. But unfortunately, it never went down well with them. So that's why we are living. People have to resist such move. And it behoves on us to honor them, because it is necessary. Of course, we deem it necessary to honor, to give honor to whom honor is due. So to these fallen heroes, and of course the subsequent ones who have been paying the price even since 2017. You saw how the Nigerian military invaded Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's palace and leaving scores of people dead. And fortunately, he was able to escape that assassination attempt. He was the target, but they couldn't succeed. And you can see that this has been a recurrent decima. So we set aside this day to remember the fallen heroes. And it is not an aberration. It is not wrong. And we are acting within the ambits of the law, because sit at home does not involve violence. It's a clarion call for a deeper and sober reflection about where we have been, where we are, and the task ahead of us.
So, amidst this happiness and joy in the hearts of every Biafrans, I think there's a very big question in the minds of people, which is, if the Igbos eventually succeed in their quest to have Biafra Republic, what's the guarantee that the leadership will do the needful to favor the eight citizenry, especially now that corruption has eaten deep into the fabrics of almost every Nigerian? What is the guarantee?
Yes, your position is right. If by that you mean the fabrics of existence as far as Nigeria is concerned has been destroyed. There's no longer confidence and integrity among the political elites. But for Biafran state, of course, everyone will be given an opportunity to strive, which is not tenable in this contraption called Nigeria. That is the first primary duty of a man is survival. When you create that enabling environment, then people can fend for themselves. They can decide their future, their destiny in their own hands. We will create the enabling environment. We will entrench a system that recognizes everybody's efforts, opinion, and give, of course, equal opportunity to everyone to survive, to aspire and live out his or her dream, which has never been within the country called Nigeria. See, that is what, of course, Biafra stands for. I had a conversation with one of the business moguls within an Igbo extraction. He said, could you imagine in Nigeria when you have a consignment that worth about 42 million naira? It will take close to 10 million naira to clear your consignment. And sometimes they will delay it to the extent that you have to pay demurrage for 4 weeks, which is uncalled for, because just mainly on the position that he is an Igbo man. So we are not given, there is no fairness. We are not treated fairly in this country. You see, they intend to frustrate an average Igbo man. Even in business, you can see multiple taxes and all that, even within Lagos State, within Nigeria. So these are things we intend to address, because of recently Ladipo market was engulfed with fire, and over 2,000 Igbo people, because it is predominantly an Igbo market, will be out of job, out of business. Who cares about them? Nobody. You see, all was intended to bring down an Igbo man. So we are looking for a country where we can feel secure. We can have that sense of belonging. We can reason together and move at our own pace. So that is the fundamental issue. And above all, the right to live, the right of expression will not be jeopardized in Biafran nation.
So with all of this, with the total compliance given on the sit-at-home order, do you think anyone can still say that Biafra is an online country?
Yes, for Nigeria, they could still be living in deception, in denial. I see Nigerian people or government likes to deceive itself, even when the truth is staring at their faces. So they can choose to live in denial as much as they can, but it will be down on them. Of course, it's already down on them that things are no longer at ease, that Nigeria already has fallen. By that total compliance, it sent a very dangerous signal to the Nigerian states. You can see people, some group from Arewa were calling for dialogue because of the total compliance. They thought it was a joke, and today history has been made. And of course, it is there in the public domain. The community of nations, international communities also observed what transpired yesterday. All this could attest to the fact that truly people are no longer happy with the Nigerian states. And the next and the best and in interest of all is to call for referendum. That is what, of course, an average Biafran is looking up to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chigozie.
It's my pleasure.